to AboutFACE Theatre presents 5 Questions With, and today's guest director, Garry Hynes. Garry founded one of Ireland's great theatre companies, Druid, in 1975 with Marie Mullen and Mick Lally, and has been its artistic director from 1975 until 1991, and again from 1995 to the present. Between 91 and 94, she was the artistic director of the Abbey. As the director, Garry has also worked with the Royal Court and the RSC, with Second Stage, Signature Theatre and Manhattan Theatre Club in New York, and with the Kennedy Center in Washington, DC, among others. Her many honours include the Irish Times Theatre Award, the Joe Callaway Award for Outstanding Direction, and a Tony for the Beauty Queen of Leenane, becoming the first woman to win a Tony for the direction of a play. Garry, you are very welcome.
Thank you very much. That was a numbing introduction. How long have I been alive? Oh, yeah.
You've done a few things, Garry, a few things.
Yeah. So we'll just jump in, if you don't mind. So the first question for you, Garry, is just what play or experience first got you into theatre?
I've got to say, it's a play called Many Young Men of 20 Say Goodbye. Rarely have ever performed now, by John B. Keane.
Huh.
And I saw it somewhere when I was about 11 or 12, and it was a play with music, with songs in it. And I remember the final, as a group of people on the cast marched off singing the song. It was about emigration, Many Young Men of 20 Say Goodbye. And it was the movement and the sound of their voices that just went straight into my head when I was 11 or 12. I remember, as you can see, very little else about the experience. It was just that moment. And I still have that image in my head.
That's fantastic.
And did that then sort of feed into your potential interest in theatre, kind of flew from that bit by bit, or?
No, I wouldn't say it did. I mean, I only recovered that memory in retrospect, really.
Yeah.
When I was in school, I was involved in doing a play, working backstage. I just remember going around with a hammer. And probably people might say that's what I've been doing for the rest of my life. I gave them that line, unfortunately. And then when I got into college, I joined I was dying for college life, and I joined all of the societies, and Drama Soc was the one that, from then on, college life became about Drama Soc. And I remember doing my first play and thinking that was terrific. And I really enjoyed it, but I was so used to enjoying things first time round and hating them second time round. So I expected the same thing would happen. But I did have a much tougher time the second time round, but I remembered I was still doing it. So I had some inkling then that there was something going on. Yeah.
Great. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so you're talking about that John B. Keane play as being, an influence, but what's a great play that you love and why?
Well, I think I've been lucky enough to do so many great plays. I've been lucky enough to be able to actually have that most extraordinary privilege of experiences, which is to direct a great play on its first, on its premiere, like something like Baile Gongora, which you can't, or Beauty Queen of Leenane. And, these plays are so great that in retrospect, everybody thinks
Yeah.
You knew it was great then, didn't you?
Yeah.
You really didn't, actually.
Yeah.
Whether that meant you were actually very stupid, or whether that meant this experience is so always just, stay walking on that tightrope and don't look down. But that really is what the experience is like. Sorry. So you do stand back, as you do at the best of good theatre, and you do see, oh my goodness, I never realized this played like this, or this could have such meaning or such emotional impact, and that's kind of what's a great part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that touches a little bit on the next question, from a different standpoint. Just like, what, you know, can you tell us about a time in your theatrical life where something turned out very differently than you expected?
Well, you know, when I sort of read that question when it came up, I a few days ago, I really kind of laughed. Your entire life in the theatre is about everything not turning it out the way you expect it to.
Yeah.
So that just describes everything. But I suppose the one thing, you know, when I was thinking genuinely about it, the one thing that absolutely was unpredictable was that I left Druid. I had thought for a couple of years that I would have to leave Druid. That, you know, I didn't know whether, you know, I needed Druid too much or Druid needed me, whatever. I knew I had to go. And when I did go and became artistic director of the Abbey, it was a big step. And obviously for me, it was an irreversible step. There was never a thought in my head that I would come back, even for a short period of time, which was originally to be. I was supposed to come back as consultant artistic director for a temporary period. The fact that I ended up spending the rest of my life there, that has been, that still kind of makes me go, really?
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, okay, so Garry, so you've had an amazing, like, you know, groundbreaking career in the theatre, and you've worked with all these great theatres, done all these great plays. So what keeps you coming back to the theatre? What moves you? What excites you about theatre?
I think it's because you can never pin it down. It's exactly what I was saying earlier, because, you know, for instance, I'm about to start rehearsals for The Seagull, and Tom Kilroy's great adaptation, great version of the Seagull by Chekhov, in 2 weeks' time. I have the cast. I've read the play hundreds of times. We have the designs completed, everything. But I don't know what's going to happen on Monday, the 12th of July, when I walk into the rehearsal room and hear it read by the full cast for the first time. And as soon as I hear that, I'll get even more surprises the following day. And that's, you know, so you're in this combination of trying to shape something that you can't even touch sometimes. It's an elusive, thrilling, perpetually interesting chase.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's a good quote. So obviously, you know, your skills with a hammer will, you know,
yes,
prove very, very useful. But is there any, you know, any tools from theater that that you have found useful in the rest of your life?
Well, I suppose, you know, by definition, I mean, as I say about being a director, I can't do a single thing without having somebody else collaborate with me. I mean, if I'm a novelist, I can sit down and write a novel and nobody has to say yes or no to me until it comes to it being published or whatever. But in order to direct a play, I at least have to find a writer and at least one actor to collaborate with. So I have had to engage in trying to see the world as other people see it. Not very successfully most of the time, but I have to engage in that process, or else I would get nowhere, either with the plays or understanding them, or in actually the process of producing, directing them. So yeah, and that's obviously, that's a life skill as well as a work skill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Garry, this has been so great. Thank you so much for joining us. Just as a quick bonus question, can we ask you anything about what you're working on at the moment?
Well, as I said, I am working on The Seagull, Tom Kilroy's version of The Seagull, which we're going to produce in Cool Park in August of this year. And I am tremendously looking forward to it. We have a wonderful company of actors. It's a play I've been longing to do, and a writer that I've been longing, that I know for all my life. And it's so wonderful to have the opportunity of directly collaborating with him on this, Tom Kilroy, on this production.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so exciting. I know, to be
a real life performance.
I know. Don't say anything.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah. That's great. Well, Garry, thank you so much for joining us. This is
Paul, you're more than welcome. All right. Thanks and good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you too to our audience for joining us. If you enjoyed the interview, please like the interview, like the video below, and follow AboutFACE Theatre and share, because we believe theatre makes life better. So see you next time on AboutFACE Theatre presents 5 Questions With. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and share. Thanks for watching.